And we were talking about arrays, so I guess this is arrays part 2. Arrays are used all the time in C, probably in every language, just about. To understand a common usage, start an editor and enter the following code. All right, let's do that. We have another preprocessor directive here. Define max 10. Is that defining a constant? I think so. Yeah, I'm going to type this out. Type this out for my own interest and practice. So we have an integer. We have unhelpfully named A. And then an index value for max. Integer random seed, which sounds like some random seeds. And we're setting that equal to 10. A comment here from K&R, which I'm going to guess stands for Kernahan and Ritchie, the developers of the C programming language. And it says returns random number between 0 and 3,200 or 32,767. Okay, and then there's this function before main, random function. Ranseed is equal to ranseed times a weird number 1103515245 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. And return an unsigned integer times ranseed divided by 65536. Modulus operator. If you haven't looked at it yet, 32768. All right, let's get rid of all this junk here. And then we are going to declare a bunch of variables. IT, what's it? No, he doesn't use spaces, but I'm going to use spaces. X, Y. And then there's a comment that says fill array. And a for loop. Pretty sure that's a constant max. It's all in capital letters. Defined at the beginning. All right, he doesn't. They do it like that, so I'll do it like. A index I equals rand print %d slash n a I. All right, and that's the end of that loop. And then it says they're using these multi-line comments for single lines. I'm going to use the, what do they call them? lines, I forget. It's easier to do a comment like this. A half line comment. Or a single line. And then return 0 to end the program. All right, here's the explanation. This code contains several new concepts. The define line declares a new constant named max. All right. So it is declaring a constant. It's called max, and it's set to 10. And interestingly, it doesn't need a semicolon at the end of it. Constant names are traditionally written in all caps to make them obvious in the code. The line integer a max. Oh, did I mistype that? I did. That needs to be all caps. It's not the same. Capitalization matters in identifiers, variable names. Integer a max shows how to declare an array of integers in C. Note that because of the position of the array's declaration, it is global to the entire program. The line int rand seed 10 also declares a global variable named rand seed initialized to 10 each time the program begins. Right. I'm assuming all global variables initialize their values each time the program begins. This value is the starting seed for the random number code that follows. In a real random number generator, the seed should initialize as a random value, such as the system time. Okay. Here, the rand function will produce the same values each time you run the program. Good advice, good advice. System time value can randomize things. The line intrand is a function declaration, right? This package of code in between the curly braces is a function. And we're declaring it by calling it rand, setting it to the integer type. It accepts no parameters. There's nothing in between these braces here. Are these braces? What do you call these? Parentheses. It returns an integer value, right? We'll learn more about functions later, but the 4 lines that follow implement the rand function. We will ignore them for now. It would be too difficult and it would take too long. And you're not ready to understand the explanation yet. So just ignore. Hand wave those lines away. The main function is normal. If you say, we need it in every C program, a main function. 4 local integers are declared, I, t, x, and y. And the array is filled with 10 random values using a for loop. Right? The starting condition is that I is equal to 0, and I as long this loop will continue for as long as I is less than max, which we have set to 10 up here. And then the counter is incremented by 1. Ten random values using a for loop. Okay. Note that the array A contains 10 individual integers. Okay. Yes, because we set this to 10, and here's the array here. Right? This is the array that we declared on line 5. And it will have 10 integers because you can set to max, which has 10. Well, I'm assuming that's what that means. You point to a specific integer in the array using square brackets. So A0 refers to the first integer in the array. A1 refers to the second, and so on. And you gotta watch out. It starts counting from 0 the way computers do. The line starting with /* and ending with / is called a comment. Well, we knew that. I guess we haven't been introduced to comments yet. So there you go. I'm using two different kinds of comments here, getting a little ahead of the lesson, but these are multi-line comments. And these are called, I should look it up. Let's look it up. Dropping frames whenever I open a new no, that's not what I want. Interesting. It shows the bookmark spell whether I want it to or not. And I can't hide it. The show bookmarks bar, that'll do that. Oh well. I don't think I'm giving away too much personal info there. What are we looking for here? No, it doesn't say. Look at multi-line versus multi-line comment. It's like someone was trying to think of it. Oh well. If I find it later, I'll bring it up. Wasting time, valuable time. These are single line comments. Let's just call them that. Single line comments and multi-line comments. Multi-line comments use /*, and they have to be terminated the other way, the opposite way, //. And single line comments use \\. The compiler completely ignores the line. So comments get completely ignored by the compiler. They don't have any effect on code, but they're important because they draw your attention to important parts of and explain. They have an explanatory function in code. So important to humans, not important to computers. Add the following code in place of the more stuff comment. Oh, bubble sort, a bubble sort algorithm. Neat. Neato skeeto. All right. So instead of having this comment here, I'll just say bubble sort array. Starts with a loop. Using x as the counting variable. It will loop as long as x is less than max minus 1. And then it will increment x. What? Come on, plus, there we go. And it's a nested loop, no less. For y is now the counter of this loop, as long as y is less than max minus x minus 1, increment y. Conditional statement, if array A with index y is greater than A with index y plus 1, then do some stuff. And here's the stuff. Set t equal to A index y. And then A index y will be set equal to a index y plus 1. And then a index y plus 1 we set equal to t. So cyclical. And now print the sorted array. I guess I need to, this should be indented to make it even with what's happening there, because those things are of a feather. Print bunch of hyphens. I don't know if it matters how many hyphens. Do you think it matters? I don't think it matters. And then there's another loop using I again, and I is less than max. And I is incremented. And then printf format specifier AI. Yeah, that's some heady stuff there. Like, we're keeping everything. It comes afterwards because we are only meant to replace that one line with this code. All right. This code sorts the random values and prints them in sorted order. Each time you run it, you will get the same values. If you'd like to change the values that are sorted, change the value of rand seed each time you run the program. The only easy way to truly understand what this code is doing is to execute it by hand. That is, assume max is 4. To make it a little more manageable, take out a sheet of paper and pretend you were the computer. Draw the array on your paper and put 4 random unsorted values into the array. Execute each line of the sorting section of the code and draw out exactly what happens. You'll find that each time through the inner loop, the larger values in the array are pushed toward the bottom of the array, and the smaller values bubble up toward the top. Cool. And then here's the challenge problems. Well, first of all, let's run this and see what happens. Increase this so we can see. Oh my gosh, no errors. And so now what's going on? It's printing out a bunch of random values here. And then are they sorted to the bottom? Yes, they are. It's going from from small to large. 2,234 all the way to 30,710. Bubble sorting. What's that? How did the Bubble Guppies song go? Bubble Guppies, bubble sorting. I don't remember. After my time. Okay, so here's the challenges. In the first piece of code, try changing the for loop that fills the array to a single line of code. What? This is definitely going to be a pause the video. Pause the video type thing. And figure it out. In the first piece of code, try changing the loop that fills the array to a single line of code. So there's the fill array loop here. And they want me change the loop to a single line of code. Oh, they showed us how to do that before, didn't they? Because you can actually put the body of the function inside the for conditions. I'm gonna have to go back a few chapters and look at that. Look at the syntax of how that's done. I think that's the way that works. The next challenge is take the bubble sort code out, put it into its own function. The function header will be void bubble sort, and then move the variables used by the bubble sort to the function as well and make them local there. Man, you didn't really go over local and global yet. I gotta say, scope was not one of the lessons that we looked at. So you were definitely sort of jumping around a little. Curse of knowledge. Because the array is global, you do not need to pass parameters. Initialize the random seed to different values. And here are some errors to avoid. C has no range checking, so if you index past the end of the array, it will not tell you about it. It will eventually crash or give you garbage data. A function call must include parentheses, even if no parameters are passed. All right, I accepted that on faith. For example, C will accept x equals rand. The call will not work. The memory address of the rand function will be placed into x instead. You must say x equals rand parentheses. Okay. Okay, all right. So do I try to solve this? Dear viewer, should I try to solve this right now? In the first piece of code, change the for loop that fills the array to a single line of code. Well, since I have a viewer, I'm going to try to solve it. Maybe they're a programmer. Maybe they think this is going to be easy. Now, wait a sec. Looping a real example. I remember seeing a real example where they showed you how to do this. You can take the body of the function and actually put it into the loop condition all as one line. You don't even need the curly braces. I don't think it's a good idea, but they're asking us to try it, so I'm going to try it. Maybe it wasn't this lesson, maybe it was the previous one. I don't remember exactly. And if I can't find it, I'm not going to waste everybody's time by spending the rest of the lesson hunting for it. Blah, blah. Same as saying, yeah. Blah, blah. There, this is it here. This is it right here. I found it. You see, this is a for loop with its initial condition or the counting value being declared, two variables being declared, the condition under which the loop will continue, and then the increment value. But then they just put a comma and put all this junk in beside it. And I think that's what they're asking me to do. So that's what I'm going to try. That is what I'm going to try, Commander Root. That is a very good programming name. Commander Root. Very hacker name. Oh, I went too far. I suspect this might be simple for you. Oh no, you left. He was shy, and I told him about it directly. Or otherwise, he didn't think this was interesting because it's too elementary for him. With a guy named Commander Root, there's no way he's going to be interested in this kind of simple introductory lesson to C. There's no way. All right. So here's the fill array. Here are the instructions. Try changing the for loop that fills the array to a single line of code. Make sure the result is the same as the original code. Well, we saw it get run once here. So if something like that happens again, we'll assume that it's the same. Now, just in case. Whoa, whoa, Replit. Whoa, Replit. Let's assume that we're going to need that later. So let's just do that. Let's do that. Comment it out, and then we can add it later. So if I understood correctly, I think all I have to do is make a comma here. And then this. We'll find out soon if I get a syntax error. I don't know. That looks a little fishy to me. Very suspicious. I don't know if I should put a semicolon there. I'm gonna. No way is this gonna work. No flipping way. Yeah. Expected a parentheses. Okay, let's go back. You know, it's 2 pages back. I'm now at the hour mark. We won't spend too much time on this, but let's have a look-see. There's 2 statements, A++, semicolon. Ah, it's separated by commas, but not semicolons. Right? Right. Therefore, no, that's comma. I mean, that's the incrementing value. So you expect that in the loop condition, in the looping part anyway. It's the printf I don't expect. Nobody expects the printf statement in the looping code because it's usually put into its own curly brace. Nobody expects it. So it's clearly just a problem with the comma. So that's going to be semicolon. That's going to be comma. And then I have 2 statements. But I don't know. Is that going to be a comma there? I don't know. That's the parentheses for the whole loop. That's parentheses for the printf statement. I also have open and close parentheses for the printf statement. And And it didn't terminate as didn't terminate a semicolon, so I'm just going to get rid of the semicolon and put it here. That's the first thing I'm going to try. No, still got errors. Expected another bracket, another parentheses. On line 22, character 39. Because, why? Shouldn't expect another parenthesis because that's opening. That's opening for the loop. So is it this it has an issue with? Maybe that's got to be a comma. Oh, there we go. Oh, we did it. We did it, Commander Root. You're not here to see it, but we did it. That is on a single line. Technically, a single line. Why would you bother? Just makes your code hard to read. But still, it is done. Challenge accepted. Challenge accepted, challenge met. Isn't that what life is all about? Accepting the challenges, failing initially, and then meeting the challenges. It's like a short story. It's an epic, tiny little short story in a coding adventure. That, non-existent viewers, Dynamite and Steve, when you watch this in adulthood, understand these are the things to which your father's heart thrills. These challenges of the mind. The life of the mind, Lebowski. Okay, what was the next thing? Take the bubble sort code out and put it into its own function. Oh my god. Isn't it already? No, I guess it isn't. And when you say bubble sort code, do you mean the bubble sort array and the print sorted array? Do you mean both of those things? The function header will be void bubble sort. Oh boy. Move the variables used by the bubble sort to the function as well. Oh boy. Make them local there. Because the array is global, you do not need to pass parameters. Okay. This one I have much less confidence about because the instructions are a little unclear for my liking. Yeah. Commander Root is back. Commander Root, I succeeded in the first quest. The key to putting the loop code all in one line is commas. You use commas, not semicolons. Counterintuitive because a semicolon is what usually ends a statement inside a function, inside curly braces. When you're doing it for whatever reason, if you want to put it all in one line, you use commas. Now, what I'm trying to do is take the bubble sort code out of this program and put it into its own function. I don't know if that function needs to be before main or after main. I'm going to assume before main. I'm going to say void. Oh, not yet. void bubble sort, right? And then function, and then bloop, drop all that bubble sort code in there. That is my assumption. Then move the variables used by the bubble sort to the function as well. I don't know. I think these are the integers, the variables. So I'm just going to comment that out and then copy this. And I'm going to put it into void bubble sort. I don't think it really matters where. All right. I have low confidence in this working as well. But again, let's just try it. Let's see what happens. Oh, 5 errors. Undeclared, all related to an undeclared identifier, which is I. Oh, no. It's on line 40. It's having an issue. It has an issue with line 40 with an undeclared. Well, I don't know. Because the array is global, you don't need to pass parameters. Right. The array is up at the top as a global variable. Okay. I moved the integer. I moved everything over. Maybe I should have left I. But do I even make use of it? I don't know if I even make use of it. So let's try taking I out and leave it here. Here's where you actually want a multi-line comment on one line, because then we can comment out certain things without commenting out the rest of it. And run. Four errors this time. This time you have an undeclared identifier I on line 31. Okay, you say it's undeclared, isn't it? Am I not declaring it right here when I say I equals 0? Is that not a declaration? I declare. That is declared. But they're saying I is undeclared. Line 31. I don't know. This is probably a bad idea, but I'm going to give it its declaration, declare two different functions and see what happens. Oh, it worked. I think. No, it didn't. Didn't sort it. It created the array, the random values, but it didn't sort them because nothing's calling bubble sort. I need to call bubble sort at some point, right? Can't say return bubble sort, can I? If you're just joining us or coming back, I'm almost finished the second challenge. I've managed to get the bubble sort code out of the main function into its own function. We got all the compiler errors are gone, so I don't even have any errors to guide me anymore. But it's not running the same way it used to be. It's generated random values, but it hasn't sorted them. Let's try it again. There we go. The same random values every time because the seed isn't changing. Initialize the random number seed to different values. Well, let's do that. Just to see it do different things, I guess. This is the random seed, I guess. So we'll do 9. And run it. And you can see those numbers are now different. But it generates the same values each time. Okay, so the only thing I don't know, the only way I can't give myself 100% on this assignment is that I'm not sure why it's not sorting. It's because I think nothing is calling this bubble sort function. I think to get this to work, I just need to call the bubble sort function inside main, I would think. So I'm just gonna call it the only way I know how. That might be a little more than the law will allow. Gonna spell bubble, right? Booble. Bubble sort. I think I can do that. Yes. And is it sorted? Darn well seems to be to me. It sure looks that way to me. Oh yeah. Success. I think I want to save this. Saved. I've actually had a lot of trouble restoring versions of files from Replit. Warning everyone. Sometimes the versioning system on Replit is a little unreliable, and it might be hard to get your old work back in some cases. I think I'll create a new Replit so that we can save this one because I'm quite happy with what I've been able to achieve today. Modest though my achievements are. Excelsior, tomorrow, page 12. I would like to thank the enigmatic and silent Commander Root for being my viewer today, my occasional viewer. And I will see you tomorrow at roughly the same time in the evening. Take care, everyone. Be safe. Keep some physical distance between you and the nearest human being, and you will get through